Hey everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today we are continuing the main story. It is the beginning of the week, so we are running the minion roulette. The minion likely won't last for very long before it gets replaced again. Hello there, BDI. Because I'm still working on the Yokai Watch crossover event, which that video will be coming out eventually. I'm almost done with the Yokai Watch event, so soon, hopefully, minions will get back to actually sticking around for more than a day or two. Then again, we are in the patch quests, we are in the post-game, so everything I'm recording, I've been recording fairly non-linearly, just depending on what I'm available to do or what I'm able to do, since a lot of it is multiplayer content and that depends on when friends are available, etc, etc. Things have been a little bit wonky, but hopefully we'll get back on a regular pattern soon. Anyways, before we get started today, a few notes. First off, some important story notes. This is important. It is related to the Binding Coils raids, but I'm going to put it here because it is important and relevant to, the overall story, because the Binding Coils are relevant to the overall story. If you're not watching those, I recommend it. It's very, very difficult, very fun, and I guess most of the raids are manageable, but they are getting to the point where they start to get quite difficult. Anyways, the Binding Coils does tie into the main story. It's an important part of the epilogue of A Realm Reborn, so I highly encourage watching that, just to fill in some important lore gaps. That's going to be continuing on through patch 2.4, so it's still going. There's still a little bit left, but Binding Coils are important, don't skip them. Anyways, similarly, Crystal Tower is also important, don't skip that. That is actually mandatory for main story progress. Anyways, story related to Binding Coils. So this isn't something that's revealed in-game, but it is clarified in Encyclopedia Eorzea. Specifically the first edition of Encyclopedia Eorzea, which was covering A Realm Reborn and Heavensward stuff, though this is information for A Realm Reborn. Nail Van Darnus, the Nail Van Darnus that was responsible for Project Meteor, was not the original Nail Van Darnus. It was in fact his sister Eula, who took his place after he died very early on into Project Meteor. So, Project Meteor, I believe the order of events was Project Meteor started under Nail. Nail died, Eula took his place pretending to be him. This seems to be written in due to a mistaken localization. I can't confirm this for sure, but we do know that there was a mistaken localization in 1.0. Which we can't go back and play right now. I hope eventually someday they let us, but also it's bad, so I don't blame them for not wanting to. But I feel like I'm the kind of person who would genuinely enjoy 1.0. Anyways, there was a localization mistake back in 1.0, where in the original Japanese, Nail Van Darnus was left ungendered, whereas in the English localization, Nail Van Darnus was referred to as a he. So in order to correct that mistake, because Nail was not intended to be a guy, they wrote this in where, Nail was a guy and then died, and then it was his sister Eula who took his place and pretended to be him, and that's who we fight in the Binding Coils, and that's why Nail, actually Eula, Deus Darnus, is in fact a woman. It's... just roll with it, honestly. So yeah, fun. Transmask Nail Van Darnus? I guess? We could go with that, if we want. Though that's, whatever, it's fine. Last thing before we get started, I went ahead and updated the dates, went ahead and double-checked the dates for Satora's story. Patch 2.2's main story ended on the equivalent of November 30th of the 6th year of the 7th era, while patch 2.2 proper ended about a month later on the equivalent of December 24th. The 6th umbral month, 24th day, in the 6th year of the 7th era. So we're coming up on, actually we probably are, into the 8th year post-Calamity at this point. Neat! Sorry, not 8th, 7th year post-Calamity at this point. Neat! Time is passing. Anyways, hello there, Serpent Lieutenant. I am back, and I'm ready to go report in about our fight with Ramuh. The Serpent Lieutenant is ready to send us on our way. The Elder Seedseer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The Conjurer at Nafika's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Lieutenant Lancy. Thank you very much. Alright, back to Gridania. Let's go report into Connie Senna directly. And then Urianger has his own report he needs to make, and I'm very curious to see what he learned. He said it could be a chink in the Ascians' armor, so that sounds valuable and worth learning. I would very much love to hear what he has to say. Welcome back, Honored Scion. We who knew of your mission have been most anxious to see you return. The Elder Seed Seer awaits you within. Alright, thank you very much. Everything went pretty well. We were able to best him after only 2 attempts, which, not bad. Not bad at all on mine. That was a pretty smooth fight. Pretty straightforward, honestly. Let's check in with everyone before we talk to Connie Senna. It would seem that Ida's appraisal of the situation held some merit after all. Mayhap I should not be so swift to discount her intuition. Yeah, you think? You should have seen Maxio when we got back to Little Cella's. Grateful is an understatement. I thought he was going to shake Papalimo's hand off. I fancy my presence was more help than hindrance during our troubles with Leviathan, but this time around, well, even I have my off days. Ah, the hero of the hour. Let us not keep the Elder Seeds here waiting. Alright. Hello there, Connie Senna.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramuh made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one, yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramuh has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Well, whatever it is, hopefully we can figure out what troubles are brewing and stop them. The biggest, most likely answer is, of course, Teleji Adeleji's scheming, but I imagine Nanamo and Ralban are probably in contact with the other nation states about that, so... Or maybe they're keeping that close to their chest given how sensitive the situation is. It would seem that Ida's... okay. Same as before. Same as before. Same as before. Lovely. None of you have anything new to say. Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Satora? I'd hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the primal sudden challenge. And it seems that Urianger, too, was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Satora? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? Alright, back to the Rising Stones then. Meet with Urianger and learn what he has learned. And while we're here, I suspect things have changed now that the situation has passed, so let's go ahead and check in with people. The children are quick to take the Eorzean ways, but I cannot claim the same flexibility. You said the same before? Duty calls? Okay. Wow, absolutely no change. I am shocked. Okay. Wow, there is absolutely no change. I am genuinely surprised by this. We'll check after we finish the quest. Alright, hello Minfilia. Welcome back, Satora. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. I would fain share news of my own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Levin, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascians' immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together. Aho!
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the waking sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth the distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection,
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
The Lord of Levin is returned to the Ether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whirl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, Heidelin serving, grows mightier by the day. Yet she prospers at great cost to her mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wan. Yet even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is a task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. A lot of info there, but we have a plan, if not necessarily a method, for possibly destroying Ascians for good. Alright then, next time on Final Fantasy XIV, the Guardian of Eorzea. I'll see everyone next time for that.